Justin's being a little modest. He developed this neighborhood you're in right here. He developed this whole neighborhood. Is this the only neighborhood you developed, or is it?
No, we've done 140 lots up here over 2 different neighborhoods. This is the first one, and if we got time, I'll tell you the story on how I grabbed this. It was crazy.
Let's hear it.
But it's really, there's 2 facets of how you can get these assets. One is just being a really good guy, doing the right thing all the time. The other one is pure luck, and trying to really be in the right place at the right time. So 12 years ago, I love fly fishing. So I fly fish in Colorado every summer. I end up going there 2 to 3 times a year. And my wife, again, I love my wife. She gets so jealous of my time because I spread it thin. I was going to Colorado. That's a 1 day there, 4 days on the river, 1 day back, doing that 3 times a year. So she's like, can you find somewhere closer? And I said, I'll try. So I came up here about 12 years ago, fly fished the Mountain Fork, caught one of my largest trout ever, a 28-inch, 10-pound rainbow. And I was like, okay, this is cool. So we actually, my kids and I stayed at a cabin. We paid $600 for a weekend. It was for sale. I found out, I called on it. It was $150,000 for that cabin. So I got home, I called the agent back and said, hey, I got approved, I want to buy it. She said, man, I sold that the day I put the sign in. Well, I was like, all right. So next year I went back, 250 grand for the same cabin. So it went up 100 grand. And I was like, dang it, I missed it. So I thought I missed it again. So I went back to next year's 300 grand. So it just continued to grow up. So I said, all right, I got to figure this out. So I went and bought 4 lots in Broken Bow. This is after I'd started building. And I bought 4 lots in Broken Bow. I built all of them. Before I sold moved into any of the cabins, I already had them all sold for about $150,000 profit per cabin. And so I figured, all right, I better take this deal. So I did it. I closed it. I bought 8 more lots. So I doubled down. Did that same thing again. So I've done 75 cabins now. I won't do another one. It takes a lot out of you, and I don't want to do that anymore. I'll probably do one at a time, just nice, real big ones. This was my lot. I lost it. Somebody made me a big offer on it, and I had to let it go. And I haven't stopped hearing about that from my wife. So anyway.
So Justin, by the way, Justin's the guy that brought me this deal. Off market, wasn't listed. It was pretty much a pocket listing, from agent outreach. I reached out, an ally of an ally hooked me up with him, Colton, who's going to talk tomorrow, and got me hooked up with him. I told him exactly what I wanted. And you called me literally, a week or 2 later, said, dude, you ain't gonna believe this, but.
So dumb luck, right? Or being in the right place, right time. Just if you'll put your attention on something and you focus on it, you talk about it and you breathe it and live it, those deals just come to you left and right. I'm pushing away deals, so many deals that I can't even, but I've been doing it for long enough. So just continue to talk and talk and talk about it. So how did I get this lot? So this lot belonged to a gentleman that's been in the town. His sister's the mayor. He does everything in the town. I got to know him at a coffee one morning, just being at a cafe, just talking. And the guy was real nice, and I offered to buy him a coffee if he would just educate me on the surroundings. And then he said, I actually have a place that I just put in the newspaper for sale. I was like, the newspaper? He's like, that's how we do it around here. That's how they do it. And so I said, all right, well, show it to me. So he drove me over here. All right, 40 acres with 2 cabins on it. The cabins were worth about $600 on the open market. And I picked up the entire 40 acres for $1.15 million. So I have a picture framed in my office. We were at this cafe. I took him back, and I was like, all right, what do we need to do to get it? He's like, well, I have an offer on the table for $1 million. And I said, okay. And then ding his phone, 1.1 million. So all these old dudes that were looking at the newspaper started dinging them. And I said, all right, I'll do 1.15. I'll close in 1 week, but you can't take any more offers. And he's like, how do I know that you'll perform? And I pulled out a check. I wrote him a $100,000 check, and I said, go ahead and cash it. So what we did was we drafted, and I'm a real estate broker. I had a yellow notepad like this, and I drafted this contract on it, and I will have to send it out. And it's still hanging in my office, and we both signed it and scribbled it, and I closed in a week. So what we did after this is we divided up this into 35 lots, and I sold on average each lot for about $190,000. The lot development in Broken Bow is only about $10,000 per lot to develop. You can see we don't have gravel, or we don't have pavement. The utilities are pretty simple, pretty easy. It's like the Wild Wild West out here. You can develop, and I had this thing done in about 4 months, and it was just full of trees. So we cut it all in, we walked it, he planned it, and then I had it all sold in about 4 to 5 months. I think we made $3.5 million on it. I was like, I got to duplicate this. So I found another one right next door, and then we did that same thing. Bought that one. We had that one developed in about 8 months, and then we turned around and sold it. I had those all gone in 11 months, and that one pushed off about 11 million in profit. So the development game is where it's all at. Now we're doing it at another level in Dallas, where we're taking down 200 to 300 acre sections of land, and it's all about, to me, it's all about the paper lots. You can go full development if you want. It's a 6 to 7 year project in Dallas. Paper lots, if you get all entitlements to go through the cities, you can get those done in about 12 to 14 months.
Explain to them what paper lots means.
So paper lot is a builder has feelers out all over the place trying to take down
sections of land that are within a certain reach of sewer, water, electrical. You can't grab something out in the country. It takes too much effort to get there. So we have to find stuff that's kind of right on that edge line of the ETJs or within city limits, and we'll pay big money for it. The paper lot process is I'll grab a piece of land and I'll grab all entitlements on the land. So I go to the sewer, I go CCNs, I go water, I get the letters, I get the will serve letters. I go to city council meetings. They want full development plats, flood plans, everything.
And so we're going to spend on a 200 acre project, I'd probably spend about $2 million on all entitlements. And it's let's just say a 14-month project on that one. If I buy that for $7 million and I do my $2 million worth of entitlements and I put in the time to really go, and I'm at city council meetings every single month, getting rejected. And sometimes I walk in, they're like, oh, we really want a curb right here. Like, and that's how minor, but that's the tedious stuff that you have to take care of. And then you take a lot of councilmen out to coffee and you're like, what else do we need to do? So anyway, that $7 million plus the $2 million plus the 14 months.
I want to stop you, Justin, because there's a lot of good key points you said.
Sure.
Because you said something that I know is very pertinent to what they need to hear, is taking councilmen out to dinner and build. There's a lot of politics involved in development.
There is. So the council is your key to getting, you've got a city manager, you've got a city mayor, you can't do anything with the mayor. You got a city manager that you can ask, hey, what do we need to do? City engineers are crucial as well. But the city council is the one that votes on all these approvals. They'll take direction from the city manager if it fits the model that the city is looking for. Like I know walking into a meeting on a certain piece of land, what they want to see on this piece of property. Right? And I'm all residential development, so I'm not doing any commercial, but I know what kind of home they want to see.